All right, Marvel fans, you might want to take a seat for this one because as we continue to look back at the events of WandaVision, it's becoming more and more clear that Wanda may have been the big bad of the series, and we might even see her continue with that villain role in the MCU in future movies to come. But let's break that all down. What's up, everyone? It's Elisa. Welcome back to the Den of Nerds. Before we get started today, don't forget to smash that like button to let Josh know that you want to see more of me on the channel. And just a friendly reminder that a lot of what we're doing on this channel happens over on the live streaming channel. So don't forget to check out Den of Nerds Live. If you're not following, if you're not subscribed, I don't know what you're doing with your life.
What are you doing?
Okay, so yes, Marvel fans are still talking and debating and speculating about the implications of WandaVision. And to be honest, I think we'll continue to keep talking about WandaVision for months and maybe even years to come. And as we've continued in our WandaVision discussions, one of the biggest questions I've had is whether or not Wanda was the big bad or the main villain of the series. And this is actually something I've discussed in great detail with the other producers of the show, as well as with Josh, and some of us are still debating over whether or not Wanda is the hero or the villain of the show, and some of us can't make up our minds about what she is. And a lot of this has to do with the fact that, as we've seen in the series, Wanda Maximoff's character is very complex. Wanda has a lot of heroic personality traits. She loves Vision and she cares about her children. She also doesn't innately want to hurt others. And we even see this when Agatha raises up all of these different military officers and goes to throw them to the ground. She breaks their fall despite the fact that they are the people also attacking her. And while she does defeat the other antagonists of the show in order to set the town inhabitants free, I think it would be kind of difficult to argue that Wanda is simply the hero of the show. We first see her character introduced into the MCU in Avengers Age of Ultron, where it was explained that she and her brother Pietro Maximoff both received their powers after Hydra experimented on them with the Mind Stone. She tells Agatha that the reason why she volunteered for Hydra in the first place was to change the world. And this is the first time we really see Wanda doing something that she thinks is good, but going about it in a completely destructive way. And this sets up an extremely important pattern that we see carried out in the WandaVision series. She thinks that she's saving all these people from having to deal with the damage and destruction done after Endgame, but really she's forcing her own pain and trauma onto them. She wants to be able to live out a quiet, peaceful life with Vision and have a family with him, but in doing so, she takes an entire town captive. So while she may not be a full-fledged villain, at the end of the day, Wanda still kept an entire town hostage and forced them to live out her pain and her trauma. And you can't get around the fact that she did that, and she is still willing to do things like use dark magic, which we see in the post-credit scene as she's reading the Darkhold in her astral form to try and get her kids back. So she's not above using the wrong means to get what she thinks are the right results. And while I don't think this makes her a full-fledged villain, I do think that makes her an anti-hero or an anti-villain and puts her in that kind of gray area, especially moving forward with her character. And as we look at the implications of what that might mean moving forward, we could see Wanda play out as a leading villain in MCU Phase 4. We know that her character is set to be in Doctor Strange 2 Into the Multiverse of Madness, and I think part of that is set up in WandaVision's post-credit scene as she's reading the Darkhold, which might lead to the breaking of the multiverse. We also hear Agatha say that there's a whole chapter about the Scarlet Witch in the Darkhold in which it foresees or it prophesies that she's destined to destroy the world. So I definitely think this could set her up as a major player, as a villain in movies to come. But what I think is more likely is we will see something set up where Wanda is actually being controlled. In the comics, the Scarlet Witch actually did go through a period of time where she was possessed and controlled by Chthon. Chthon is an elder god and the archdemon of chaos, and he's actually also the author of the Darkhold. In the comics, Wanda and Pietro Maximoff were both born at Mount Wangador, where Chthon just so happened to also be held captive. Now this is important because right before the High Evolutionary was able to destroy Chthon and banish him from the human realm forever, fragments of his being were placed into Wanda Maximoff. And as her story progresses, Chthon would go on to corrupt her until she was finally completely possessed by him. And during this time, she would actually go by a completely different name as she became more of this villain in the comic series. Now, I think it is totally possible that that is the exact direction that Marvel is headed down. So it's possible that Wanda is not actually Wanda at all, that we are seeing the beginning of Chthon breaking loose and inhabiting Wanda's form. But that does not make her beyond redemption. In the comics, she's able to break free from that, and I don't see them not giving Scarlet Witch a redemption arc at some point in the series to have her rejoin as an Avenger. What I really see happening here is that Marvel and Kevin Feige are blurring the lines between what a hero is and what a villain is and how we define them. And that's a theme I think we'll continue to see in things like Loki and Falcon and the Winter Soldier. But that's enough of what I have to say. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Do you think Wanda's going to be a villain in Phase 4 of the MCU, or do you think they're going to give her a redemption arc and are going to maintain her character as a hero moving forward? And just another quick reminder to go check out the live channel to stay up to date with everything that's going on with the Den of Nerds and to get more amazing, awesome, nerdy content. As we like to say here at the Den of Nerds, I hope you have an awesome and a nerdy day, and I will see you in the next video.